What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Is your host Ghost here, and I am here with my friend
Specialist. How's it going?
Specialist. What up, guys? You are watching Smash Soapbox. Usually, I start with the "Hello, Dorks, Nerds, Geeks, and Gamers." Usually, and I use the other one for the other one, but got all mixed up tonight. Tonight's topics, guys, are very important topics. It's getting close to Hallows Eve. Not too close, but it's coming there, and I'm getting excited for it. And we're talking horror movies. We're talking all the icons. We got your Chuckies. We got your Jasons. We got your Freddy Kruegers. Got your Michael Myers. We got your Screams. Whoever they are. Stu. Whatever. Any of the killers. So
Could be you.
could be anybody. So yeah, we're just talking horror movies and what's coming out this season. I know a lot of stuff got delayed, so a lot of the stuff we might be talking about 2021 movies, 2020 movies, late 2020 movies. So because pandemic, a lot of these were supposed to come out but haven't yet. So keep that in mind. These would be here, but they're not. So first one I want to talk about is the one that has me the most excited so far is Halloween Kills. I recently just watched the Halloween 2018 remake not too long ago, where it actually is this. What they did was they cut out Halloween 2 from Halloween 2 on the originals onward. None of those are canon now, and the new canon is now Halloween, the first original movie from 1978, Halloween 2018, and now it's Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends. Now, the reason I'm excited for Halloween Kills is if you didn't see that 2018 movie, the way that movie ended, left it very open-ended. And then they also dropped the teaser recently for Halloween Kills with Jamie Lee Curtis in the back of the truck, already stabbed, freaking screaming, "Let him die!" Seeing the fireman going to save Michael Myers from a burning building, and that enough was for me to be like, "That's horror. Like, that's terrifying." All right, you set up a trap for this guy to burn alive, and you're gonna watch the firefighters save him. Like,
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
Oh. No, there is. Burn
So
fire.
that's yeah, that's true. That's why I'm really excited for Halloween Kills. Just the setup they led it to, and just to see where it plays out in that sequel. Because if you look at it like an Avengers movie, if Halloween, the original Halloween 2018, is your first Avengers movie, that's the team getting together. That's Michael starting his job. Well, then we're about to go into the Infinity War here, where Michael's about to just wipe everybody out. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Halloween Kills is just going to be Michael Myers going through the whole town, killing everybody. Literally everybody. Like, no stopping, just killing everybody. And then Halloween Kills will be Laurie and the town survivors getting together and fighting Michael. And that's going to be the end of the Halloween franchise. That's what I think.
See, don't get me wrong. I know he comes in when you least expect him to, but how has nobody fucking killed Michael Myers yet?
Oh, you can't kill him. He's evil. He's evil incarnate.
Oh, that's fine. You can kill evil. Blow his ass up.
He's been shot in the
You know,
neck, stabbed.
okay, they stop at one though. Like they shoot him in the face. Oh, he's dead, and then
Yeah.
they're done. Fuck that. Okay, you mean to tell me he hadn't walked up on some fucking rednecks having a beer? No, no,
Yeah.
he's dead.
He's
Because he
shot.
would jingle when he walked. If he wasn't dead, okay. I don't. I don't find him as scary. Like Jason, he's not. He's not a physical entity anymore. Like that dude's a demon. Like
Yeah.
all of. I
Nothing
don't think.
killed. Okay, the moment Jason got brought back to life at the bottom of a lake by a lightning bolt, like that, that right there, that's the moment you're no longer
You're
human.
like fuck. Man, you can't take that on. Fine. Like,
Like,
he went to space for God's sakes. Okay, went to space and somehow made it back into like whatever it was.
hey, the leprechaun went to space too, and he's still doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I can see the leprechaun doing it, but no, I don't know. I can't find Michael Myers that he's be freaky. Don't get me wrong. If he was in my house, I'd be scared shitless.
And well, also the other thing about Michael Myers is like Jason surviving, like, getting struck by lightning in the middle of the lake, or like Michael Myers. I think it was Halloween 4 where they nuke the town, and he literally jumps in a stream in like a creek and it's going down, and Michael Myers just like closes his arms and legs up and he just floats down the stream as the town's getting nuked and he lives. And I was like, that is the most absurd ending like to any horror movie I've ever seen. Like
I
I forgot that was even real till I saw it again, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot all about that.
I don't even think I watched that one, to be honest.
Dude, it's so dumb. And that's how the next movie starts. He like it shows how he survived, and it shows the nuke going off, and then he's like hops in the stream and just floats down it into the next town.
I can't. I can't even. Like that just went from horror to just a spoof. Like
It's
kind of like Scream. I can't differentiate Scary Movie from Scream half the time.
yeah.
Or Signs. I think of Signs, I automatically think, oh, like this guy. Where the fuck's Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
I automatically assume he's in there
Because it's scary movie.
Because it's not scary. It's
Yeah.
it's a joke.
Well, the thing about Scream, I mean, it could be more scary, but I think that Dewey Cox character ruins all the suspense in those movies. Because it's like you can't have a recurring character in a horror movie because you know he's gonna live. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's no
It's plot armor, and you know
Yeah.
it's
It's
can't
like
be-
Neve Campbell when she comes back every Scream movie. You're like, she's fine. She survived since the beginning.
it should make it.
Yeah. Or like
There's-
Ellen Ripley in Aliens. You see Ellen, you're like, okay, she's good. She's
Well,
gonna
but-
destroy everything.
In Aliens, it went from being a scary movie to an action movie.
To a sci-fi. Yeah.
They knew. They were like, all right, this bitch is a badass, and she'll be a badass until the day she dies.
Yeah.
They knew it. They didn't try to like make it scary. They were like, okay, we can't really make this any scarier than it was, so let's just move on to a different genre. And it was good, and it worked. I love all the Alien movies to this day. But
I agree. But now that's got my
that's not part of this. Like,
Yeah.
that's no.
Prometheus. Yeah. But
Like,
what was that one after Prometheus? Alien Covenant? That wasn't too bad. That wasn't horrible.
No.
But
I like how they made the aliens look, but another thing I can't understand is if that was the genetic or the way they disperse was in spores,
yeah,
right? Why would you revert
to the face huggers.
face hugger? Like that was
Yeah, I
already
didn't understand that
that
either.
transmit whatever the fuck that was. It may not have been the most easy method of breaking out of someone, like as it is in the chest, but like you can see that dude's back. That was pretty freaky. Like I would have shit myself up. I'd be like, oh shit, let the door open, get the door.
I liked what he was setting up. I just think he needed more.
More time and more money.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was kind of loose. Like I feel like he didn't know where he was going to take Aliens until he made those movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This sucks because I don't think they're gonna get a third one.
I don't think so either nowadays.
Because it started to get good, like you said. Like in the second one, I think it was Alien Covenant. Or
Yeah, it
whatever.
was. Yeah.
That was all right. Like I watched that movie twice. That's
Yeah.
saying a lot. For
It
a
wasn't
movie.
bad.
But I mean, it could have been better, and pretty sure the third one would have.
Yeah.
You probably get to explore what because if you ever like read the comics, played the games, the universe is like Star Wars big, like it's fucking
Right.
huge. And there are the books. I read the books all the time. Like it's crazy, but you
Right.
never see that in those movies. You're like you're stuck on one planet and that's it. And you're like, dude, they could do so much with it. Like, have you seen Star Wars?
They
Like,
tried to do that with
it's a-
Prometheus, but it wasn't varied
No.
enough.
They're stuck on the same planet.
I thought they went to like 2 or 3 planets with their ship.
No,
No?
they were on the original planet that Ripley did, and they
Oh,
never
okay.
left. They were running around that whole planet. I mean, they got to see half the fucking planet, but
Right.
it was still in one setting. Like they never
Expanded
Well,
out.
They did. I guess they kind of did. In, what was it? The second one, yeah, because like she was like on a way station. Then they took her to another moon.
Yeah.
And something else, and that was all right. But once again, I mean, it was like a shitty '80s action movie, so it was
Yeah.
good. And it's for its time, it was good. And I still watch it, but it could have been so much better.
Well, see, a lot of people talk trash about Aliens versus Predator. I'm one of the people that will defend those movies.
Well,
I enjoy them for being action, rompy, summer kind of movies.
the first one.
I like them
Anything.
both.
There was 3 of them. Well, no, that was Predators. Never mind.
Yeah,
Take that.
Predators.
I didn't like them both, mainly because their solution was to nuke the city.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be a real solution, though.
Oh fuck yeah!
I would.
I would have nuked 2 cities over. I wouldn't even say shit. Just
Predators? No. No.
no, Predator. The Predator would be like, all right. He only went there to wipe up the mess. Like,
Now, if it was aliens, maybe I'd send a team to deal with that. But like predators, no, I ain't.
I'm
Predators are
not
too smart.
aliens are cockroaches, bro. Like, just
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, that's the problem with them is they reproduce so fast. They're like bunnies.
Yeah. Well, no,
They just
fuck
take
all
over the
that.
world.
I would have nuked like 2 cities over for the aliens, and then like the Predator just let him clean up the mess, and we're done. Like, just leave, because
And
that's all
the
they.
thing, that's the thing I liked about the second Alien vs Predator, though, is I liked having the Predator be a hero character, kind of, where he was helping the humans. I like that because if any side was going to help the humans, it's going to be the Predator. And I know they did it in the first one, but I felt the second one he was more of like an action hero. Like they focused more on one Predator being the star of the show. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just a random Predator. You get what
Well,
I'm
that's
saying?
how it's always. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like the cover-up guy. They
Yeah.
call him fix shit, and that's what
Yep.
he did. And just fucking dumping shit in the pools, this green liquid. It's all covered up.
Well, and I also like how they continued the hybrid storyline that Alien vs Predator set up in the end, and then in the second one they finally paid it off with that hybrid being out there and being a monster.
What really bugged me though is you never found out in the first one who the fuck that chick in the background was. He looked at her and she's like, he goes something, and she's just like,
I don't know.
she said, but you're sitting there going, who the fuck is she? You never brought that up, and like it was like those things that just fell off the edge like completely. And I'm like, who the fuck was she? Because that's gonna bug me now. Like, were they hinting towards like a clone Ripley or some shit? Like,
I think so. I think they were hinting towards something like that, like a bionic, maybe like a android or something.
but
I don't know.
how? Unless if there was time travel, which never entered the universe of possibilities in any of the aliens. There's no way because Ripley, I think, was born in like the era of Blade Runner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they were connected.
Yeah.
In the universes, they were connected.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, throw like Wayland Yutani in there, and I'm like, and you get to see it like the old and the new Blade Runners. You're like, oh fuck yes!
Wait on you, Tony.
So excited. I was like, yes. All right, we need to move on to another movie.
All right. Well, I've been thinking about this since we were talking about Ripley. It's had my gears turning about a what if they did what if it's a sequel to Freddy versus Jason, but it's not Freddy versus Jason? Like, what if it's a couple of horror icons, but it's the horror icons versus Ashley Williams from Evil Dead, and Ripley as a team? Them two versus all the horror icons.
I'm gonna say this. I don't think it would work.
Yeah.
Because they do not. They were okay. Ashley was just a fucking Joker, like all the way.
Right.
Through.
That's why I think it would work, because she was serious, and they would be getting on each other's nerves, but they would have to work together in this situation.
I don't.
And you would have Chucky in there. Just imagine Ashley Williams quips with Chucky. Like, what the hell is this doll doing talking? Like, he would just kick it across the room.
Yeah, everybody's like, give me my boomstick.
Or Michael Myers would be standing there, and he'd just be like, really? Just start going to town on Michael with his chainsaw. And Michael would just be stabbing it at the same time.
I don't know. Like, you see Ripley come out with a flamethrower.
Like, it was nuts, dude. It'd be crazy.
It'd be weird, but it never happened because they're in such levels. And I know Sigourney Weaver's pretty cool about that. Like, she's not that. I mean, she'll play in anything you ask her. She played in Paul, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love it, but there were. I mean, she would do it, but I don't think her agent would let her because
she's too big. Well, she's kind of old now, and she's kind of just getting less and less movies.
Well, she doesn't really play in any movies anymore.
Yeah, not really.
5
like
years.
cameos. That's about it.
which is fine. I mean, she's earned that, right? She's probably the first
Yep.
female ass in all
Oh, she's a
movies.
female legend, dude. Like horror movie icon right there.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver, up there with
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis. So
Yeah. All right.
all right, what's another horror movie?
Letdowns. We've already talked about The Grudge.
Oh, letdowns, horror movies.
I'll go with the letdowns. We've already had some pros.
Okay, I'm looking forward to the Forever Purge that's coming out. But I have to say, a letdown was the last Purge or the first Purge, the one that just came out. Out of all the Purge movies, that one to me is the most boring.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was a good origin.
They had the first one, which was amazing. They had the second one, which was really good, and then they had
Election Year. Yeah, they were all three good.
All three of them. And then they had four.
Yeah, then they came out with the first Purge, and then now they're going on to the Forever Purge.
I don't know. I haven't even seen commercials or read any articles about it, so I couldn't. Really...
It hasn't started. It's been filming. They haven't done ads yet because it was supposed to come out this October, but because of the whole situation, it's been pushed back to next year. But the synopsis for it is the Forever Purge is what happens when the government decides that the purge is legal year round. Instead of just one night, it's in one area that's legal year round, like Las Vegas, but for purging. That's the premise they're going on.
Right mind, we want to live there.
That's the premise. That's the premise.
I don't know, man. I can get down with once a year thing. Like I get that. Like I can even it happen potentially because all the jackasses that live out here. But
yeah,
one place
it'd be like going to Vegas. You go, you want to kill someone, you go, you kill someone, you go home. What happens? Forever Purge stays a Forever Purge.
What happens when somebody gets fucking abducted out of work, like a town over, and they just...
I think that's going to play into the movie. I think that's what they're going to explore. Is how people can take advantage of it.
That's kind of like what The Hunt was.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought it was going to be because it was a bunch of no names in there, and it just blew me away. Like how it was pretty much like a pretend town,
right?
But these rich people threw in to abduct like certain people, and like they had pinpointed these people and they paid like millions of dollars, and they pretty much took over this little town, which was in like fucking Costa Rica or something.
Right.
Turned it into like a little America, and then they like dropped these people off with like a mask over their face so they couldn't talk, and it was locked, so they all had to go get it. And the main character at the beginning you thought was gonna make it, like got his fucking brains blown out of it.
Hey, that's how you start surprise right away.
It was good, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching this. And it turned out the chick that they thought they got looked identical to this chick, and she was like, and she fucking murked people. Like you could tell at the beginning because she was like, she got a leaf, pulled some hair out, and had a needle, and she was just like, that's where I'm going. And then she just like dropped everything and walked away. And like one of the chicks at the beginning was like watching her. She's like, fuck. You didn't see anything from her for like half the movie, and then she took over as like the main character. And she became a
beast.
I was like, god damn. Train to Busan for a Korean movie.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
It was pretty good. I mean, because you got to read subtitles throughout the movie.
Right, that's true.
But Korean movies, like you watch
like that Parasite, I haven't seen that either, but I've heard everyone's been saying about it. Yep.
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things.
I'm excited for Don Mancini. He's making a Chucky TV series, and it's coming to Sci-Fi and USA Network, both networks, because it says it's too big to be held on one network or whatever, and it's an awesome play. But to see Don Mancini keeping the original Chucky alive with Brad Dourif, like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. That new Child's Play sucked. I mean, It sucked. I'm a huge Chucky fan. Like Chucky to me is Brad Dourif. That voice is Chucky. You cannot change Chucky's voice and have him still be Chucky. I don't know how to explain it. It's not Chucky.
Yeah.
It has to be
Well,
Brad Dourif playing Chucky.
it's iconic. It's
Yep.
iconic. He had the laugh and everything. You
Yep.
can't.
It's that gravelly voice. It's perfect for that little body. Like 100% horror icon. And just to see Don Mancini to continue the old classic Chucky while New Line does their new series or whatever, that makes me happy. Because finally a studio understands you can do the original and have a remake at the same time. It's okay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? People forget that. They're like, oh, we got a remake. We can't, the old one's dead. Why? Why does it have to be dead? You can continue the old franchise and do a remake at the same time. It's two different timelines.
Right.
And these studios just don't get that. I'm finally glad that the Child's Play people are getting that, and I hope that more horror companies see that and are willing to take risks on more reboots and more of the classic stuff at the same time.
Gotcha.
That's what I want to see.
I can respect that. Honestly, though, I think as far as horror goes, some of these big studios have failed me like big time. I was expecting good horror movies, and they turned out to be a joke.
Yeah,
I've
Blumhouse is the one that's been killing it lately
I've known
with their movies.
foreign companies or indie studios that make their movies are so much better at captivating you with horror than it is just straight. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a hacker and slasher movie all day, but
Right.
it's not. What was good is when they mess with your head, like Babadook, for example.
Yeah.
Nobody heard about that movie, and then suddenly it exploded because it was a very good movie, and it was a low budget movie. I mean, so low it was a joke. And it was truly strange. Like, it was a weird movie because
that kid just drove me nuts. I could not stand that child in that whole movie. I want to throw him out the car. I want to throw him out.
It worked on your psyche because you would get so fucking tense because you felt like the mom, and then suddenly something happens, and you're like, "Well, what the fuck was that?" It would distract you from what was going on behind the scenes. Instead of watching somebody walk behind you, you're focused on that little shit the whole time until something fucking explodes out in your face, and you're like, "Oh god."
Yeah. Well, it's like like the two new age horror movies that I really like from the same director is oh my god, I'm not gonna remember the names of them. Heredity is the first one, and the second one was Midsummer. Those two movies for horror movies are masterpieces. I don't care who you are. They have this slightest subliminal messages in them that people don't realize. Like Midsummer, okay, there's a scene where she drops LSD. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but she drops LSD and she's sitting on this hill, and the scene transitions to this forest, and it looks like a forest. But what you don't realize is the director has put pictures of her dead parents on the trees behind it, so the trees literally are grown to look like her dead parents. But our minds don't connect that right away until the second or third viewing, and then you're like, "Oh God, those are her dead parents in the trees." Like, you finally see that stuff. That's how deep those horror movies are, and that's the stuff I want to see more of.
Well, kind of like music, in my opinion, it's dying because nobody has an imagination anymore, which kind of sucks because I love mind fucks in movies, like things that will really disturb you, but at
People
the
are
end,
afraid to take the risk because they'll know they might lose money, so they won't. That's the problem.
Well, that's not how art works.
That's how you exactly.
It sucks. It's art. It's not entertainment. Because
Yep.
I watch it. It captivates me for like 30 minutes, and then I'm off in my own world because I can't get into it, and it bugs me. Most of these horror movies. Now, I'd say this, like, Underwater was pretty good as far as taking a new direction, because it took it to a place where kind of like space did to us when we started watching like Aliens and stuff like that, except it was underwater. I mean, you were at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
Now, the premise at the end, when you find out that they're like creatures, sub-sentient creatures that live at the bottom of the ocean that are destroying the rig,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a
But
little far fetched.
I don't. I didn't really feel scared, but it was very suspenseful, especially when you were walking at the bottom of the ocean, and they did a good job of making it very difficult to know what was going on. Kind
Right.
of like because you lost somebody for like half an hour, like you had no idea where they are, and they're still wandering around at the bottom of the ocean with shit flying around, and you're like, oh god, like I feel bad for that person. I totally forgot about him. Like, you
You're like, oh
feel,
god, that dude's still out there. Get him in.
oh, what was that movie where the guy that played her with the phone, he said he was in on Mars, and it was
Joaquin
all
Phoenix.
no, was it Joaquin?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
Joaquin
I
Phoenix.
don't think it was Joaquin because he was on Mars, and the only person, the
I
only
think I.
individual to talk to was an AI because he was. I can't remember what he was doing. I think he was farming or cultivating something on Mars, but it was just him alone on a whole planet, on a whole cycle where he was stuck in a machine.
Oh, I
And
think
the
you're thinking
only
of Matt Damon, because I think you're thinking of The Martian.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, no, it's not. It came way before The Martian.
Oh, okay.
It played on insanity because if you're alone long enough, you start
Yeah.
talking to yourself and creating different realities in your own head. Well, that's
Yeah,
what this,
that's 100% true.
and it started to get weird, like really strange, because you'd be watching it and this dude would just fucking snap. Like you're like, I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but I'd recommend looking for it because it
It's a
really like
lot. It kind of reminds me of that movie Buried Alive with Ryan Reynolds, where he's in that casket for like forever.
yeah, no, no, because it was weird. I mean, it was drawn out like over a period of like 3 years. The guy was
Right.
alone instead of what was it, 72 hours. In real life, like that story was based off of in 72 hours.
Oh, I got you.
But this guy slowly went
Wait,
insane,
nuts.
and it turns out like they did that to him on purpose just to see what would happen to somebody up in space at the end, and he ended up fucking killing himself. But like, it played off of like this dude was sitting there talking, and he lost like his perception of reality, and he thought he was going outside to his like from his house, and he like was this close to opening up the airlock and sucking him out, and like the computer like locked him down and said you're not allowed to leave, and he like snapped because he thought he was still at home, and he tried to kill himself like 6 times, and the computer like ended up looking like the evil person the whole time because you were in his mind.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Help him the whole time because
Yeah.
it was AI. I mean, it wasn't. It was sentient to a point, so it felt some empathy for the guy, and like eventually he's like, "Yeah, I couldn't do anything." He just killed himself.
Oh, that's an
But
intense horror movie. That's intense.
it was weird, and that's what I like though, like intense in the way that you don't need to spend millions of dollars to
Yeah.
call horror when it could just be in your own fucking head and it's scary. Like
Right.
it can happen to anyone. Anyone could go insane.
Yeah.
So
It's true. All right. Before we wrap this up, I got one more horror movie I got to mention because I feel this movie deserves more love than it gets. It is the third movie in the Collector Collected movie collection. It's called The Collected, and it comes out this year. It is the third movie in that series. I say this all the time. The Collector is one of the best B slasher movies you're ever going to find because it feels like an A slasher movie disguised as a B slasher movie.
it's
It
kind of
feels,
like mixed with salt.
that's what I'm saying. It feels like a classic Michael Myers, Jason kind of movie where it's just a normal person, but they're almost so good that they're almost ungodly, kind of. You know what I'm saying? S- s-
Killable. Like
Yes. Yeah. He's smarter than you. He's already 2 steps ahead of you. That's what makes him scary.
I think in my opinion what makes him scary is the fact that he can go to your house for one day,
Yep.
lay everything out, have everything planned. You leave for what, an hour to
Yep.
go out to eat. You come back home and your whole house is booby
Booby
trapped.
trap.
Like you can't go anywhere without seriously paying attention.
And the thing that makes it scarier is nobody knows who the heck this guy is. Still, we're the second
Well,
movie in, and we don't really know who he is. We know
well,
he's a
no,
bug guy.
the main character of the second one ended up. No, it was the first one.
Yeah, he's the main character of the first one, and he comes
Fine.
back in the second one. Yep,
Yeah.
and he's coming back in the third one too. So
Good.
I just want to put that out there. That was the last horror movie I wanted to promote and push out there. We are hitting our time, guys, so I think we are going to wrap it up here. We talked about all sorts of horror movies and situations and ideas and all sorts of stuff. Thanks for sitting through our ramblings. Like, subscribe, and share. Keep it here on Dorkston. And as always, I've been your host, Ghost, here with
Specialist. Hope you guys.
Adios, guys.